Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody is not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is to try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video we're going to be looking at MMTLP and we're going to get an update from the case with Roza against FINRA. So let's have a look at what's happened today. So there has been a response, so this is great news. So Roza is fighting back on her, not only her own behalf but on the behalf of every single investor of MMTLP. So let's have a look in terms of what we can find, the key highlights of this response. So if we start on the first page of the document, we can see here the procedure to alter or amend its order entered on 9th of January 2023. So this has now been submitted, so it's over to the judge. So let's have a look at the restraining order citing previously absolute immunity. So remember, this is what FINRA was saying, alleging no imminent harm. They were saying there was a lack of emergency. They were saying Roza failed to demonstrate ruling in her favour would serve the public interest. So we, as members of the public, have got nothing to worry about. That was the implication from FINRA. Plaintiff or Roza has failed to demonstrate ruling in her favour would serve the public interest. Sherman Act was suspended by the Exchange Act. No remedy by ruling in plaintiff's favour, and the plaintiff intends to use newly disclosed evidence and dispute the legal argument. So that's what we're going to have a look at now, the newly disclosed evidence and new legal argument. So let's have a look at the summary here. So remember what FINRA have failed to kind of emphasize and look at is that we are not seeking money. Roza is not seeking money. This is for equitable relief. So equitable relief is warranted and the plaintiff can still receive relief from harm. So if Roza wins this, we will win and we can still all get this relief from the harm. The harm is basically the financial loss, the financial impact, the lack of ability to sell out shares on the last 2 trading days and getting back our 2 trading days. That is what we are asking for, plus the shorts to close all their positions. So again, in terms of the summary here, MMTLP Series A preferred stock dividend representing ownership of oil and gas assets was deleted and replaced by worthless QSIP numbers. This is what the brokers are now basically doing. And at the bottom here, close only positions are a commonly used tool to ensure short positions are covered and uphold the integrity of a shorted stock. So that is a very important argument. Integrity of a shorted stock. We have lost all integrity. Shorts are basically breaking the rules, breaking the SEC rules. They're not covering, they're not closing, and they are going into a private company, which is illegal. So what I'm now going to do is summarize 14 key points from Roza's response to FINRA. So this is titled Roza Fights Back Against FINRA. So let's have a look at point number 1. So these are the key legal arguments summarized. Again, reminder, not legal advice, not financial advice. This is just purely for entertainment. So please go ahead and read this yourself, but this is my interpretation here. So number 1, FINRA are aware of were aware of over 9 million short positions. The brokers and dealers were obliged to buy back, but this was prevented. And why was this prevented? Was this in the public interest to protect this? Was it in the public interest to stop these brokers buying back? And was it in the public interest to cause harm to me, you, and every single investor of MMTLP? So that is a very fair question, and we hope the judge and the court looks at this because it is in our interest for justice. Number 2, various websites, including FINRA's own website, show that there were approximately 200 million shares. Well, how many shares did Bridge Hydrocarbons have? 165 million. So if the websites are showing 200 million shares, then there's some hokery-pokery going on. Certainly needs an investigation, certainly needs to look at some suspicious activity. So why is this not happening? The judge needs to look at this. So great point there by Roza for number 2. Number 3, the hold was for the benefit of the broker and dealers with short positions. Without a shadow of a doubt, they benefited financially and possibly benefited by the amount of billions and billions and billions of dollars that should have actually been used to close their positions, but it wasn't. Number 4, Roza is also saying here, restoration of MMTLP will prevent further harm to the plaintiff. Very good point here as well. So number 5 here, without an open market, shareholders will not get market value. Again, 100%. I think in estimates, certainly in terms of the people I've spoke to and some of the calculations by very esteemed researchers and investors, the prediction was it could have easily gone in excess of $1,000 per share. So in previous videos, I also covered another stock that went close to $25,000 a share. That was much smaller float, but we were certainly on track to get over $1,000 a share. We have lost that open market, so to be honest, we will never know. So number 5, that is a good point. Number 6, what Roza stated here is a motion to consider Rule 59E to correct an error. So reminder to FINRA, you're claiming immunity, but that immunity, it does not apply for equitable relief. We are looking to correct an error. We don't want your money. You keep your money, FINRA. Just give us our justice. Give us our 2 trading days. So what immunity do you want from that? Number 7, FINRA does not have absolute immunity in suits for equitable relief. So again, yeah, good point there. And that is 100% true. Number 8, not one share of next Bridge Hydrocarbons has been distributed to a single shareholder. We have seen the brokers in chaos, confusion. I would also say they're extorting money from investors, $200, $100, also reports of $500. And maybe they are trying to get some people to liquidate the shares and just give them up. Certainly people with less than 100 shares would be these prime targets, where the brokers will have these extortionate prices and try to maybe even hide those shares. Number 9, emergency status of intervention during the exchange process before synthetic shares cause dilution. So this is a danger. So there is strong allegations of synthetic shares. Please go ahead and check one of the Smokey's videos, which creates evidence and data for this. And we know on the last trading day it went down very heavily. Nobody was selling. So how can a stock go down without anybody selling? Synthetic shares. Number 10, public interest in ensuring that parties acting in concert do not dilute private company stocks. So we're now in danger of this situation. So this needs to be prevented. It's not in our interest. Shorts haven't closed. And this needs to be rectified. 11, FINRA is subject to antitrust laws. So again, we need the judge to apply this and implement this. Number 12, the ruling is interfering with taking and dilution at the expense of shareholders. So again, great point there. Number 13, FINRA erroneously claims the extraordinary event justifying the halt is uncertainty in the settlement and clearance process. Well, who's that going to cause harm to? Please explain what you mean by uncertainty. Who is being protected? And can we have some responses or clarifications, even to the court would be great. You know, tell the judge, what do you mean by uncertainty? What do you mean by settlement? What do you mean by clearance process? Who is being harmed? Who is being protected? Just tell the judge if you're not going to tell us, but do not use subjective, vague language to avoid the truth. Number 14, MMTLP was supposed to be untradeable, but traded from October the 7th, 2021. So in my opinion, this is potentially an allegation of fraud, criminal activity that also needs to be investigated, and this is something that we will be pushing certainly as a community. And what I'd now like to do is just focus on point number 5. So let's just dig into that, and we're just going to bring up the statements from the official court document. So let's focus on here what it states here. Without an open market, shareholders cannot receive market value for their shares. So we say Roza, or the plaintiff, is requesting, and this is what we want, an accounting of all actual short sale borrowed loan and any all forms of Series A preferred dividend MMTLP. So let's have an audit. Let's have a forensic audit. Let's add the figures up. Let's have clarity. Let's have accuracy. Let's have honesty. What is wrong with that? So it looks like somebody doesn't want honesty. Number 2, the reissue of MMTLP to preserve the plaintiff's investment. So that is Roza's investment, but if it happens to Roza, we will benefit from this ruling and it will protect us as well. So a victory for Roza is a victory for us. And number 3, a delay in the issuance of next Bridge Hydrocarbons with a full reconciliation has occurred and shares outstanding is in balance with this, but that also is something that we also need. So please go ahead and look at this and hopefully the judge will have some sense. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.